Above Average Podcast, the only AA meeting worth attending. I'm your host, Lake, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Tanim. Tanim, how's you doing? It's been a long time.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Not much. I've been, I couldn't do the recording last week because things have opened up a bit, and I have a whole backlog of family obligations now that everyone's been vaccinated. And also, I just got fucked up from my Moderna vaccine.
Well, I mean, happy Canada's Day. I mean, to
Happy
you.
Canada Day
Independence
and
Day.
happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to all of our American listeners. And yes, and happy Benjamin Tillman's death day. Fuck you, Benjamin Tillman. I'm glad you're dead, but he died on the 3rd, by the way. Anyone want to look up who that
Feel
is?
free to.
Yeah, feel free to.
Yeah, so you had a good, wonderful experience with your second dose, Mr. Fully Vax 5G.
God, yeah. This new 5G chip they're injecting into me. I you know what? I don't think that was worth it. But
What do you mean? You got 5G now? You can talk to the
fuck
aliens.
that. 5G is all made up.
Free data.
No, 5G is made up. It's same thing. It's like how 4G was just like it's not a real thing. It's just a marketing term. It's like no, this is 4G. The phones are way better. But nah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Like I could already watch HD movies on my phone. I mean, it was very expensive, but I mean, I know they're not making it cheaper. Like 5G is not going to make. I don't really understand how this works, but it's not going to make my my data plan any cheaper. So it was never the issue that I couldn't watch HD movies because of the
Bandwidth,
speed
yeah.
of the internet itself. Like I'm just not paying for the 30 gigabytes of data.
Right.
Yeah, no, screw that. But yeah, no, I don't know how true this is, but this is just me anecdotally. But that was a rough vaccine. Like that felt rougher than normal. What if it's like the new mRNA shit is like it gives you a stronger immune response, but then it makes you sick for a couple days because man, if I could sleep like I was on my Moderna vaccine, I would love that.
Maybe they
You
fucked up
could
and gave
sell
you like
that.
a double dose when they weren't supposed to.
Oh, who knows? I don't even know if it matters. Like, do you get fucked up if you take two
I
Modernas at
don't
once?
even know. I know
I feel like it'd
someone,
be about the same.
some nurse somewhere I read that gave someone like 4 doses because she gave like the whole vial instead of like a portion of it, and one woman got messed up. But
Oof. Oh shit. I've seen dudes in Brazil are taking videos of themselves getting their COVID vaccines, and the dudes just like aren't injecting anything into them. They're just like poking them with the needle, and then they're like selling the COVID vaccines on the black market.
gotta make money somehow. I mean, you're the Brazil fan,
Exactly. That's the kind of ingenuity that made me buy a Brazilian flag. I love you, Brazil. I love I love Recife. I love the fact that Portugal expelled all the Romani to Brazil, and so they live there now.
You love Pelé.
Whoever that is. Yes. And
soccer fans will hate you.
I just told Brazil I love them, and now they're all going to kill me.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't. It's weird because like when you see like an English white guy with a Brazilian flag, like your first thing that you think of is soccer, right? And as you know, I hate soccer.
You're the biggest soccer fan.
Soccer. I'm like the arch nemesis. Man, fuck you. How dare you say that about me? That's almost without exaggeration the worst thing.
As stated in previous podcasts.
Yes. It's literally the worst, like the worst insult that could
So I
befall
guess you're following the
just
Euro then.
being a soccer fan. Not especially. Like, see, um, what I'm conflicted about is like who has to win to ruin soccer the most. Like that's
All
what
the
I'm thinking.
underdogs have to win so that the bigger known countries like Germany that got eliminated and like
See,
Portugal and
okay, you know what? I like when Germany wins, just because Germany has to be good at soccer, not because like they need it as a distraction, because economic reasons. Germany needs soccer so they don't invade people. It's like their outlet. I don't know. I'm worried when the Germans don't get their soccer fix. It's like guys who like stopped doing cocaine and started working out instead. It's like they get that look in their eyes when they're not working out, like just like, oh, I fucking need to invade Poland.
so soccer prevents them from going crazy.
Yes, soccer is actively preventing World War III, and that is like the only credit I will ever give it. Oh yeah, so I actually mathematically showed why soccer is boring. Here's the information. So I've been able to scientifically show why soccer is boring. And the reason is low player density. What I mean by that is like the number of players per square meter of like playing. And so like basketball is kind of like soccer is a very low scoring game. Like you often it's not unheard of to get like 0-0 or 1-0 or like 2-1. It's a pretty low scoring game. Whereas like basketball is the opposite extreme. It's like 110 to 115, and that's like a pretty normal score. So I can attribute this to player density. Soccer fields are simply too big. So a soccer field is 7,000 square meters. It's 7,000 square meters, which is a huge field. I don't know what the dimensions are. All I know is it's 7,000 square meters, and there's 22 players, meaning there's a player density of 0.003 players per square meter. Basketball is 10 players on 436 square meters, which is zero point zero 0.02. So, which means scientifically basketball is 10 times more interesting than soccer.
How long does this take you to do?
Not as long as you might think. uh, like I decided to do the math on it.
Some people have time on their hands.
Yes, this is what quarantine does to people, Tanim. I think what should happen is soccer should be more like Australian rules football. Like you don't necessarily have to make the field smaller, because I get it. Like you already have the stadiums built, so like it's probably easier to just add more players to affect the player density. Like like I don't know how it is, but like I think Aussie rules football has like 18 players on each team, so it's like 36 in total. So like, but like because it's such a large field, I think soccer teams should be like 36 players each.
That'll be so crowded. What do you mean?
But the field's so big. It's 7,000 square meters. That's huge. Like if you like lined up all those square meters, it would go for 7 kilometers. But like a basketball court's only like 400 square meters.
I mean, I think that'd be a shit show.
No, well, yeah, it'd be like okay, maybe not 36, but like, come on, you gotta like throw them a bone here. Shit, but like for it to be as dense, like for soccer to be like as player dense as basketball, like there'd have to be like 200 people on the field
Right.
for like it to be as crowded as basketball. So like all I'm asking is like triple the number of players on the field.
You should pitch that to FIFA and the Super League.
I know. See, my issue has always been I don't have enough money to bribe FIFA.
But you're in the market to buying a Russian sub.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but the ruble's terrible these days.
That's right.
The ruble is just in shambles. So
Just sell some of your Bitcoin.
oh god, yeah, that's I don't like how in history books of America, like they talk about like all the like financial shenanigans of like the Wall Street collapse in 1929, and guys printing more. There's this whole thing where like Cornelius Vanderbilt wanted to like buy out a competitor, so they just kept on printing new shares so he would keep buying them. but like
Yep.
that wasn't illegal at the time. So all the shenanigans that like made our securities laws from like the 1880s to like the 1920s. This is all the bullshit on Twitter of like people tweeting at Elon Musk and Elon Musk saying shit on Saturday Night Live and that causing like Bitcoin to tank. That's going to be like a case study in history books of like, man, weren't the markets so fucked up back then? We had to step in and regulate. Like it's going to be this is going to be a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Like that's no. Like it's way more embarrassing too. When like all the old timey robber barons like Vanderbilt and Carnegie and all those guys, they'd like muscle in and have wars with unions where like the union guys would like throw scabs down the mine shaft and shit. They'd bring in the Pinkertons and they'd shoot each other. There was some dignity to it, but like the Twitter phase of like deregulated markets is there's no dignity. There's no dignity to it. This is going to be really embarrassing in the history books, having to explain who Elon Musk was and how he caused an asset bubble by tweeting.
So you don't have any NFTs.
The NFTs are the shit that's not real, but you buy it anyway, right?
Yep. Limited edition. You
Ugh.
gotta have that one of one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's technically the same as trading cards, but like I don't know, can't you just like take a screenshot of it and then like I don't really understand.
No, because it's like it's also like recorded, so like they know you have it or when it's issued, so you can't really only one person can claim ownership of it.
Right. But that kind of like just means nothing, right?
Depending on who buys it, I guess it's pretty much just goes up in value depending on who finds it more valuable.
Yeah. This seems like a really stupid version of patent law.
But hey, if you have those Pokemon cards, go sell them.
Oh god, yeah. No, oh my god, my deepest regret is like giving all my Pokemon cards to my brother, all my video games. He just has like a binder full of that shit, and he's just gonna make money selling them to nerds.
I mean, now's the time. It's the best time to do it
No, I know. Ugh.
until the next wave pops
Yeah,
up.
but one thing I found out is that like how you had like one toy as a kid and you find out now like oh this fucking Power Ranger is worth like $58,000 or some shit.
Yeah,
Like it's you think to yourself like oh shit I should have kept that. That would mean like oh I'm rich from selling nerds all my old toys. But as it turns out, people already do that. People speculate on toys.
yeah,
Like they anticipate toys being worth more in the future and will just like buy them up.
yeah, all the time. It's just same thing with like sports cards. Why people buy like rookie cards of like players and hope that they blow up.
No, I knew people did that about like with like sports with sports stars because that kind of makes sense because like if you buy a bunch of rookie cards like one of those guys could be like the next Derek Jeter or Ty Cobb or some shit. But people do that with Furbies or like Furby like toys.
Right.
Yeah. So it's people buy like really stupid plastic toys in order
Yeah,
to like
resale value.
speculate. Yeah, to speculate on. But like it almost never works. If this makes anyone feel better, because like most plastic toys are just stupid bullshit that no one really cares for. It's completely random like what becomes super popular.
Popular.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like for all the like I don't know, you're slightly older than me. Like for all the Star Wars collectibles, like there's like a million plastic toys no one remembers and wouldn't pay a dime for. You got to give me some examples here.
Yeah, like a lightsaber or like a Darth Vader mask.
Yeah, I guess because they keep making. No, what I'm thinking of is like people presumably tried to make out like knockoff Power Rangers and shit.
Yeah.
Like around the same time as Power Rangers. I'm just thinking like there's probably like a bunch of like He-Man and Power Rangers shit that no one remembers.
Yeah, until someone brings it out and like sells it at like some convention, I guess.
Yeah, but like things that there wouldn't even be a convention for, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one out there ever feel bad about like the toys you didn't sell because you just didn't know, and there was no way for you to know.
Yeah.
It wasn't it wasn't going to happen. Yeah, so yeah, people just like stockpile this shit in storage lockers as like a form of like really stupid luck based investment.
Yeah, I mean that's why they made the show Hoarders.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you think hoarders are just secretly investors?
No, they just have they have mental problems.
Yes. Yeah, okay, yeah, that is the case. But like, see, that's the problem with the toys, because like gives hoarders like an out, like for their families, just to say like, oh, you have no idea how valuable this shit is going to be in the future when people want these fucking Mega Rangers, or when people want Beyblades again.
Right. That's why a lot of kids will get beat as kids by their parents because of these little toys and trading cards.
Oh my god, right? Yeah. No, like remember when they like and schools would like try and ban like us like playing Beyblades and shit, because like we'd like bet our Beyblades, and we'd lose them, and then our parents would like lose their shit because it's like, oh, I spent $100
Yeah,
on
or like you'd spend like your lunch money and like you'd go starving and your parents would be like, "What the fuck?
yeah, just
I give
kick
you
your
money to
ass.
not to gamble on your little shitty toys."
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. Which, like, I'm not a big believer in beating your kids. Like, my method is just gonna be like, too fucking bad. I'm not buying you a new one. Don't gamble with your toys.
Right.
Yeah, or at least that's how I'm hoping that's going to go. But then again, I have to live with the guy, so they might do the whole thing where they just keep bugging me, and I eventually just relent.
Yeah, I definitely had the opposite effect growing up of getting beat by my parents if shit went down. But hey, I mean, turned out well. I mean, you definitely learn your lesson.
No, yeah, like I'm not saying like we all got our asses kicked at some point, but the issue for me has always just been like especially for my family, like the kids are always bigger. Like, I don't know, there's some kind of hormones in the meat or something, and the kids always end up bigger and taller, and so eventually the kids will be able to kick your ass, and then like your authority is gone.
Right, but that's way before you stop.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, are you supposed to just like stop when the kid's like just before the kid hits puberty, and then like that way they can never like kick your ass back, kind of thing?
I don't know. I guess it depends on the parent, but I mean, you can definitely, there's definitely like an age gap or when like you go from taking away shit from them as opposed to like beating them.
Yeah, at a certain point, it just doesn't work.
Right.
My thoughts on it. It's speaking of kids who should get their ass kicked. All these kids watching Twitch making me feel old, but more importantly, Twitch has just been kind of taken over by or not bathtubs, hot tub
Hot
streamers.
tubs.
Oh god, I'm old. Called the bathtub streamers. That's like the biggest boomer thing I've
The
ever said.
Twitch bathtub meta,
The Twitch bathtub streamers.
where everyone gets their rubby duckies and
Oh
takes a
god.
shower in front of you.
Yeah, like it's just maybe it was quarantine, but like that's made like I feel like those prominence of Zoomer culture throughout quarantine has made me feel excessively old.
I mean, you're gonna know it as Twitch bathtub meta.
Yeah. So you were saying we were having this conversation earlier, but you were saying Twitch banned a lot of. So give us some context of what a hot tub streamer is and what
Right. So I
happens.
mean, Twitch, for people who don't know, it's kind of like a big gaming platform, pretty much like YouTube, but strictly for kind of gaming and all the different types of game categories that you have.
Bezos owns it,
Right.
right? Bezos.
And yeah, obviously Twitch is owned by Amazon, and recently several female streamers just decided to get inflated hot tubs and put them into their houses and just start streaming with bathing suits on. And obviously these little kids who usually watch gamers, they're like, oh, let's check out these girls in bathing suits, and they just kind of blew up and everybody started watching bathtub meta streams
Yeah.
instead of guys gaming.
Twitch doesn't allow like nudity on it,
Right.
right? Like this is people like trying to get around nudity
Pretty much
restrictions.
find a loophole within the system. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So like it's not like so that makes sense. Twitch is trying to crack down on
Right. Yeah. So they're trying to find a way to censor it because obviously they don't want to have that reputation of having women just take their clothes off and have little kids watch them. So they banned the two most popular female streamers for about like a week, and then
Oh, so not even permanent.
no, I mean people thought it was permanent, but obviously those streamers bring in a lot of revenue for Amazon.
so so they're like, we don't like this,
But you
but
can stay.
we have to continue making
Right,
money on
exactly.
this, so you could actually stay.
So it's just like let's put a band-aid on it, make people forget. And
So did they ban? Did they ban hot tub streams or what?
no. So instead of having hot tub streams just in their just chatting category, they just made hot tub streams their own category. So you knew what you were getting into if you clicked on that link.
Oh, okay. So like this is more about like outraged parents being like, "Oh, my kid's just watching people play video games," and then walking in and realize like, "Oh shit."
Right.
Okay, okay, I get it. So they don't actually want to like get rid of them. They just want everything to be labeled properly, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, the streamers did find a loophole and they found a way to dress really provocatively and still make money doing it while still being clothed. So the community was just like, you can't take them off because they weren't doing anything wrong, which technically they weren't based on Twitch regulations. So they just kind of banned them for a bit and then now they're back.
Do people just not know that you can just like go to this thing called Google and just type in pornography and just like see naked people like they don't have to like search through this like niche video game streaming services to like get a glimpse of cleavage. Like I don't know, this is just weird. Like I don't
Right.
get
I
it.
mean, I guess because they know of these individuals, so they kind of
uh
see them as kind of like celebrities.
okay.
So when you grow up with these like streamers that everyone watches, and then in bathing suits, you're like, holy shit.
Okay, so it's like so it's about the parasocial relationship, like the fake relationship they've cultivated, like the imaginary friendship they have with this person.
Right. Yeah. It's like if you would see like a famous celebrity actor open up like an OnlyFans, and you were like, whoa.
Okay,
What just happened? I think someone did that, and she raised like $1 million in one day on
I know,
OnlyFans.
but it's still like I understand the social aspect of it. Like I don't get it, but like I don't get it personally, but I kind of understand it like as a
Yeah.
phenomenon. It still seems like this weird form of like self denial. I'm gonna watch I'm gonna watch semi naked people, instead of this like weird abundance of naked. I don't know. It's just this is not what I imagined society would be like once we had like unlimited free access to like more porn than
Right.
there are actual seconds of time. Like I'm pretty sure there's more porn on the internet than there actually has been like actual time.
Yeah, yeah. That actress was Bella Thorne. She made a OnlyFans, and people went nuts and bought into it. And
Who's she again?
I think she was in one of the Twilight movies.
Oh no, okay, I was getting mixed up. I thought it was like the main person, but that's
Yeah,
Kristen
no, not
Stewart.
the main one.
Her
Just like
character's
one
name
of the
is
other
Bella,
characters.
right?
I think.
Okay, yeah. Still, like it's I get okay, yeah. Like you just like fulfill your teenage
Yeah.
fantasies or whatever, but that's still
No, it's very
it's still
weird.
kind of weird. People need to be more philosophical about this. But just another
Yeah, I
way.
mean, then all with the isolation just kept people glued onto their phones and screens. So I mean, like it's even more of an incentive.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, no, so it's like it's worsening the problem of like it was one thing when like OnlyFans. Okay, wait. So it was one thing when like Joe Rogan was replacing being your friends, and then OnlyFans replacing being your girlfriend, and Twitch also kind of replacing your gaming friends. But like this is too far. Twitch replacing your girlfriend. That's some evil shit, basically.
I mean, have you heard of VTubers?
No, not really.
That you can look into that. That will blow your mind. So pretty much it's on Twitch as well, but these talented individuals, they'll make like a digital avatar of themselves and talk to you through that person, and it'll look like a 3D rendered like animated character.
Okay. Oh, I don't like where this is going.
They're not showing their face. Their voices are changed, kind of elevated to like a cartoon or whatever voice they want, and
Oh yeah, I really
they
don't
can
like
look
where this is going.
super sexual or super like movie-esque, and that they pretty much have like a VR headset on them, and you see this like animated make-believe world of this avatar, and they just talk to you,
So, oh god, it's turning into the fucking
and they make a lot of money too.
it's like the fucking dude from what's that, the bad movie with all the references, Ready Player One.
Yeah,
It's turning into Ready Player One,
some of it could be because like these individuals don't really want to show their face
which
or
obviously, yeah,
voice, right? But I mean, like,
people are creeps. Look what happened to Boogie.
right, you kind of make believe and think that this person's real when it's an actual person and they look completely different. A male posing as a female or vice versa.
Yeah, no, it's exactly just fucking oh, what do you call it? Yeah, Ready Player One. Which, like, okay, so Ready Player One was a really disappointing movie because so I should first of all say that Ready Player One, the book, is bad. It's really really fuck awful. Like it's a terrible terrible book. You ever read it?
Yeah,
Yeah, like it reads like the passages of American Psycho where like Patrick Bateman is describing all the brands that people are wearing because he's a psychopath and very therefore very superficial. So he's wearing an Armani suit and all of her people's glasses, whereas like Ready Player One is the exact same thing except with pop culture references, but you're not meant to like think the main character is a psychopath.
yeah.
So not that he is, but like some people take Ready Player One hatred too far and are like, it's like fascist in the beginning of GamerGate and the alt right. I don't think it's just bad. It's just a bad book. But the way it was bad meant that like a talented director and screenwriter, I think, could have turned it into a good movie because you wouldn't spend any of the time in the movie in this character's idiotic internal monologue ranting about what kind of 1980s pop culture he's seeing because you just see it on the screen. Like it would just save so much time and like
Yeah.
it wouldn't be so obnoxious and invasive. It would just kind of be a fun thing for you to see in the background, and yet it was still bad. Granted, they're working with not a good script, but like you could doctor that because that felt like a novelization of a movie getting turned into a movie kind of thing.
Right, but I mean, I think the overall kind of story is what they pushed it up forward and made it into a movie because it was not bad.
No, okay, fair enough. And I mean, it's a little like I get that like it's a little fantastical and okay, obviously it's fantastic. It's like the fantasy's almost too easy. Okay, you know what? Never mind. That's a bullshit criticism. Like all, never mind. I retract that criticism fully because like most media is escapism. So
Right,
it's not actually bad that like everything works out for the guy in the end and he becomes like king of the internet.
right. I mean, that's like how most movies are, right?
Yeah, that's always been like something that bothered me, like about people criticizing games, because like I think a lot of people like criticize games being like, oh, this is just a fetch quest. All you have to do is like kill all the enemies at point A and point B, and that's kind of all gaming is. But like it's the bells and whistles that make the story. You could reduce any story to character goes here, learns his lesson, beats the bad guy. But it's like it's not that structure that makes it good. It's the frills.
Right, it's the path or like the steps you take.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's all the extras, the frivolous extras that make it good. Like that make people connect to the story.
Right.
Back to Twitch and Bezos, and this being like yet another way Bezos is ruining everything.
I think he wants to travel to outer space soon
Oh yeah,
because he just has nothing to do. So,
yeah.
and I think people want to like stop him from coming back.
Yeah. No, he's rich enough that he could live in. He can afford it.
I mean, he's got nothing to do. He gave a shit ton of money to his wife, who's donating it now to charity.
Yeah, she hasn't. See, like people say that about his wife, but she still has a fuck ton of money. Like that's, but like most of it, like
Huge
she still has
amount.
most of the money.
Yeah. When you have time, Google this Twitch streamer called Code Miko. Also another streamer called Momo. Those are like VTubers who you can kind of get a sense of what they're doing.
Kiko, like Kiko,
Code CODEMIKO.
Coedmiko. Code. Oh, code. Right, code.
And she's actually pretty talented. She actually worked at like a big company, like a movie production company, and so she knows how to do like mocap, and so she knows how to
Let's
make those
see
characters.
how much this ruins my search history. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I don't like this. Is getting into like some uncanny valley territory, and I do not like this at all.
Yeah, so it's just her really actually talking in her actual voice, but the visuals are of like an avatar animated character.
Yeah, this is I do not like this. This is bad. This is bad for society. Fuck you, Bezos. Yeah. No, you could stay in space for this. This is your fault. Wait, is this his fault?
No.
Still not. Never
I mean,
mind.
I think it's pretty cool, just like another way to kind of interact with the community, but I mean, I can see it
Yeah,
like people just like
it
being obsessed with these make believe characters and they're actually like they don't exist or they're
but this is more of like the parasocial relationship bullshit I was talking about. Like now like people aren't just going to develop the parasocial relationship with like the person, like the celebrity person themselves, but like this fictional person, which I guess is kind of nerd culture anyway. You make imaginary friends with Chewbacca and Han Solo, but no, I'm not going to have that in my browsing history. Thank you very much. Just good old fashioned pornography for me. I'm kidding. Wait, so yeah, Bezos should stay in space. Yeah, speaking of Bezos, have you watched Invincible yet?
yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, and you've watched The Boys,
Yeah.
right? I'm not the only one drawing the connection that like Jeff Bezos funded two shows. Superman is the bad guy, i.e., Lex Luthor's arch nemesis is the bad guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That feels a little insecure about in case anyone not getting my flying here, Jeff Bezos is Lex Luthor.
You've heard of League of Legends, right?
Yeah, of course.
So
I'm not that fucking old.
I mean, not a lot of people know about these big, huge ass $1 billion video games. Pretty much, League of Legends made, well, this is old, but they made a character called Seraphine, which has its own, it's a character, but they made it so that she's a real person with real Instagram account, and a lot of people think she's real.
I hate it. I hate
She
it so
probably
much.
has more followers than both of us combined.
Well, yeah.
And people follow her like she's an actual human being, and she'll tweet like, today's been rough and I just need to get through it, and like a lot of people will comment back, whereas it's just some random person from I think Riot, and it's just some made up character they made
Yeah,
up.
it makes me I don't know. It is it better or worse that like just some intern instead of like an AI? Like, I feel like an AI would be spooky.
I mean, it seems like it's going around that path, but I mean, just to have like a company like strategize it that way, it's like let's create a character who's actually a real person that people can believe it, and then play that out
Yeah, that's
and make her have like emotions and feelings.
I don't like it. I don't like anything about this current version of the future. It's not doing anything for me. This is I wasn't expecting it to be this dumb.
Right. And this has been going on for years, so like it's not
Okay,
nothing
so
new.
I'm just further confirming that I'm old.
You're just late to the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I've been that way on a couple things, but like I've been feeling it more lately. Like maybe it was just it's just forward nature of time, and I actually am getting old, or it's just like something about quarantine makes me feel it's getting worse. Maybe Zoomer media was just like better adapted to like the quarantine world, and therefore came to dominate more.
Well, I mean, they are more antisocial with just being on their phones and
I
not
mean,
talking to people.
us too, but like
Not
I don't know,
so
maybe
much. I mean, well, maybe
I
you.
don't know.
I don't know. With me and my friends, we don't sit together and hang out, and everyone's on their phones without saying anything.
I mean, yeah, no, we're not like I don't think anyone's like that.
There's a lot of people like that. What do you mean?
No, lots of people spend all day on their phones, but like I don't think people like most people like actually like hang out and like text most of the like instead of hanging out with their friend. Like because like if you were really antisocial, you just wouldn't go out.
Right, but then
At least I
you
would
you
think.
probably be made fun of, like, oh, you never want to go out, or you're just a loser. But I know for a fact, and I've seen them, like a lot of kids, they'll go to like a buddy owns a restaurant, and he like a bunch of them, like maybe 4 or 5 of them would order food, and they would just sit at a table with all their phones in front of their faces, and they wouldn't say a word.
How does he know it's these kids just aren't on a really bad day? Like they don't even know each other. It's just like ugh,
Well, they were all
why
guys
did I agree? Yeah, what if all four of them are on a date?
on their phones together.
I mean, yeah, what if they're all four of them are like, yeah, what if they're like double dating or like it's like a polyamory thing where they're all dating each other and it's just a bad day? That's I'm making excuses for
he called them out. He's like, why? It's like you guys came here to eat, but you guys haven't said a word to each other since. Like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, we're just going out having a good time. And he started laughing at them.
That's pretty boomer. Like I'm just saying, I feel like the kids are just gonna be like, "Wow, that guy's a fucking boomer."
Yeah, I mean he's definitely a boomer. He's older, but I mean old enough to own that restaurant.
Oh, okay. So he's not like, all right. That makes a little more sense. But okay, but that makes me think he's exaggerating a little more.
I mean, he was generally curious, like who comes to a restaurant and just sits on their phone and not say a word to their friends that they came with.
I don't know. Maybe they don't actually like their friends.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I get like, like in like June, your whole summer just starts to get booked up. It's like, oh, I want to go on a cottage this weekend, and I want to go on a cottage this. Like the whole
Yeah.
thing's just gone. The summer gets booked up fast. It's like I feel like a fancy restaurant. I feel like Snakes and Lattes back when it was cool. You're still cool, Snakes and Lattes. You're not as hard to get
Do you think that
reservations
place
for.
will still be open? Because they took it hard because like that's a place where they don't really offer anything like food wise to come back to. It's like a board game where you need people to gather and play.
Yeah, I wonder how they're doing. Because yeah,
Because I
it's
know a lot of bars closed down because they couldn't provide anything that you couldn't get like somewhere else.
yeah, because for bars, it's more about the drinks and like
The
the
atmosphere.
social aspect than the actual food, and that's why
Yeah.
everyone has to go to Poppers and eat lots of wings. Oh, and the Crown and Dragon. I also
You
went to the
should you
Crown
should
and
get
Dragon.
them to sponsor us.
I officially endorse the Crown and Dragon pub on Young Street, just north of Bloor. They have amazing. See, like that's my new quarantine objective. Now that we're coming out, I have to just make sure nothing I like goes out of business
Right.
because like the risk of that is real. I don't want to live in this world if all my bullshit is gone.
You can just open up your own business.
Yeah, but like, who's got the money for that?
You do.
I mean, I might if my girlfriend gets her fancy new job.
In the States?
Yeah, as a Silicon Valley. Oh yeah, so something I wanted to talk about is we've talked a bit about remote working in the past, but one thing I never really I didn't really touch on. I've kind of made fun of international remote working. Like I've always thought of remote working in terms of like, you live just like further outside of your city but still in the country, or like
Yeah.
African dictators who just run the country from London. But I've come across a situation where my girlfriend might get a job at a U.S. firm remotely working, like they're in California, and she'll still be here, I guess. So, like you have experience working, like you work for U.S. companies all the time. Like how does it work? Like you get paid in U.S. dollars?
You do get paid in US dollars. Yeah, so I mean it depends on the company, but I mean it can be like you'll get a check and then you just deposit that and then here they transfers over the currency or they'll have it set up so it's reoccurring with your bank. Yeah, and sometimes it take a bit off because of the currency exchange, but yeah, you do get paid more than you would here.
Okay, but like, do they like deduct your like EI and what is it CPP and taxes and shit, or do you have to like treat it like a business and do that shit yourself?
But it depends on the company. So if because they don't U.S. companies don't work the same way. Like with them, if you work for a full time job, you get like a 401k and different aspects. We don't have 401k here, right? So
Yeah, it's just like 401k is basically an RRSP, right?
right. So I mean, it's different logistics. So you got to figure out what that company can transfer over, what doesn't work, and maybe they have their own way of setting up things with working internationally for send you a check, and then it'll just be you got to figure it out from doing it as your own business.
Okay, yeah. Like so what I'm getting the sense that like it's going to be worth it for some people to do it, like people in like high paying jobs
It's definitely more
to do
legwork on
this.
your end.
But yeah, cuz like, if you have to pay your own taxes, that's a huge pain in the ass. It's I don't know, that's like I think that would like put off a lot of people. And like not that I'm saying like you shouldn't take a higher paying job because like you have to do your own taxes. It's just like if you would only make marginally more, like it might not actually be worth it, like all the extra labor hours you'd put into.
Also, one big thing that they don't really tell you, but you have to figure out is benefits don't work the same way, right? You get free healthcare here, whereas you don't in the US. So,
So are they just like, oh, we don't have to pay for your health
yeah,
insurance? Awesome. So you don't
you
get
don't.
anything.
So you got to figure out either you buy your own insurance or, because you're getting paid more and that covers it on your end. But you got to figure that out.
Okay, yeah. So again, it still might not. See, that's always been like healthcare has always been like a huge barrier for me moving to the US, which, it's not actually a big deal, like people manage. Like, and most people have insurance through their work. It's just that like I would need so many guarantees that like I wouldn't just immediately be fucked
Right.
by healthcare costs. Because like buying private insurance in the states is like prohibitively expensive. Like for a family of four, it's like over $10,000 a year for like good insurance. At least last I checked, and that could be old information. It could be way more than that.
Yeah, if you get injured in the States and you don't have any insurance, you're pretty much screwed because, they book you into the hospital anyways and they fix you up depending on, to like save your life. And if you don't have money, you're pretty much in
No,
debt.
I know. Like, it's not. I think people have the wrong idea. It's not like you go to the hospital and say you can't pay, and like they're like, okay, fuck you. No, it's like they'll
Yeah.
treat you, but like it'll be a lot of money. Every time I've had to guess how much healthcare in the U.S. costs, it's been like 10 times more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I have a story for that, which is that like I had a coworker go to Las Vegas for a conference because they have lots of conferences in Las Vegas because there's lots of fucking hotels and convention centers. It's what the city's for, basically.
Yep.
He had like a kidney stone, and a kidney stone, it's like painful and it's horrible, but it's not like it's not really life threatening, I guess. At least I don't think it. If you have anyone close to you who died of a kidney stone, I apologize. Yeah, so he came back and he said like, guess how much it cost. One night in the hospital and an MRI, $2,000, and it was $20,000.
Yeah.
But like part of the problem is like there's no transparency of pricing. Like you can't just like say like, hey, how much does removing one of my balls cost? Like it's
Right. There's no price list.
yeah, and apparently like that's basically to screw insurance companies because like insurance companies don't really have a formal rate that they'll pay, like that the hospitals will know about. So, but if you say like, oh, this procedure is $500, but like the insurance company was willing to pay $1,000, then you just lost out.
Yeah.
But if you say like, oh, it's $2,000 or $20,000, and they say like, no, no, we're only going to pay you 1,000, then you have no incentive to lowball it. Like, and there's no consequences to highballing it either, because like they're just going to say like, no, 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 and then like give you their highest offer basically.
Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of dental offices do here.
Oh, seriously? Oh man, I'm getting screwed by those prices anyway.
Cause yeah, like if you don't have any insurance, you'll go in for like a checkup and they'll charge you, I don't know, a couple $100 or something. And then once they know you're on insurance, they'll jack it up to like $500.
Damn it! I really should have told my dentist I don't have insurance and paid out of pocket, and then
I mean, you're not paying anything anyways if with insurance. It's just that they're making a shit ton more because you're on insurance, and the insurance is not going to check and be like, what, $500 for a cleanup?
But there's like, but don't they have like guidelines? Like there's like you can't charge like $1,000 for like there's like pricing guidelines from like the Ontario College of Dentists or some shit. I mean, presumably. Like I think I remember reading that from my optometrist.
Right, I'm sure there's some guidelines, but they still jack up the price if they know that you're insured.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah, because apparently it's often cheaper to get medication from like Costco. Like you just go in and say you don't have insurance, and
Have you gotten medicine from Costco? I haven't.
yeah, I get all my allergy medicine from there. That shit's expensive if you don't go to Costco.
Really?
Yeah, no, because you can get like like you get like like allergy medicine. It comes in like the dinky little pack, and like there's like
Yeah, from like Shoppers or
yeah,
something.
there's like 12 pills and it costs like $18. But like Costco, you can get like the big fucking like plastic Tylenol containers of them with like 50 pills, and like it costs the same.
But is that like a Costco brand or is that like a legit
Yeah, you got to get
Tylenol
like
brand?
the Kirkland. You got to get the
Okay, yeah, I
Kirkland
get it. Yeah, yeah.
reactive.
The bulk version.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a whole thing. Why pay more?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that's always been a concern of mine. Like another thing that's concerning is like about like remotely working in the U.S. is like I would think they have to like abide by like Canadian labors if they're employing you, but I don't know. So in the U.S. they don't have mandatory paid vacation,
Yep.
so could they just not
It
give
all
you
depends on
paid vacation?
yeah, it all depends on the company, like what their procedures are.
Yeah, but like I would think, you got to give the Canadian like mandatory 2 weeks paid vacation. Like that as a law would make sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's I don't. It would be fucked up if like they were able to like apply their labor laws elsewhere. Because like if I was like if you could do that, then I'd just like relocate my company to Mexico, where like they have like the lowest minimum wage and like you're supposed to work 6 days a week, and I would just like start hiring people and make them abide by like Mexican labor laws.
So you'd be a dictator.
Yeah, exactly. But like it's I yeah, but like that's what makes me think like they can't possibly actually do that.
No, I mean most US companies are pretty legit with their remote standards. Like you'll get 2 weeks vacation,
Yeah.
some time off, and it just depends on how their organization's structured. I mean, obviously like startups have a harder time or less incentives. Like they'll give you a bit of equity, but like
Yeah.
no paid time off or stuff.
Yeah. Or they'll give you like paid time off, quote unquote, but like you'll be expected like not to take it ever basically.
Right. Or like unlimited hours, like you need to be on call or working
Yeah.
at all these times.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's
But then also you have to you said that that company she's going to work for is in California, so then she's got to be working on West Coast time.
yeah, West Coast time too. But that'd be an issue if you were like remotely working in Canada too, because like yeah, no, exactly. Which actually that's not so bad because then you're just working later in the day. But
Right.
I
I
mean,
mean, you work later in the day, but then earlier, and then you have to work later in the day.
yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, I don't actually know which I prefer. I worked on the West Coast on like Eastern time for a little bit, and that wasn't so bad. Like I kind of enjoyed. It wasn't so bad because it was the summer, so like I like the sun rose early enough that like I could definitely like wake up at 5 a.m. their time, or just like basically what I did was I just pretended I was living
Yeah.
on like Eastern time the whole time, and I just like go to bed at 8 o'clock kind of thing. I was so lame. Yeah, it worked. No, so like it's the mobility of labor internationally is interesting because like it's weird that a person's work is worth so much more in one country than it is in another. So like for example, like you've been to the Middle East, right?
Yep.
Like and like the rich parts of the Middle East where like and like all the hotel staff is Filipino, right?
Yeah. Well, they're not Filipino. They're Indian, but like yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
how it is in or Arab. That's how it is in Dubai.
Oh, okay. All right. In like Saudi and Jordan, like, or at least Saudi, from what I've heard, like most of the hotel staff, or at least like hotel staff that like caters to English clientele is Filipino, because like I think uh, more Filipinos speak English, probably. So like all the desk people are from the Philippines. Yeah, like the Philippines and Central America in particular, and also Nepal. Their economies are very dependent on remittances, and like basically like Filipino nannies or Filipino healthcare workers or hotel workers will just like go to the United States or Dubai or whatever and send money back.
Yep.
But it's just it's weird that their work is worth so much more here than it is there, that it's worth it for them to like pay the higher cost of living and the flights to like come here and work, like basically like outsource themselves.
Yeah.
My favorite example is Mexican agriculture. So basically, like the Mexico was controlled by like the PRI party for like most of the 20th century, and they basically had a highly regulated and government controlled agriculture industry that kind of failed to mechanize in a lot of the same way that the US did.
Yep.
And so the agricultural industry in like the 90s kind of collapsed, and a lot of farm workers moved from Mexico to the US to work on farms there. And so, the weird thing, and one of America's largest exports to Mexico, like, besides the usual shit, is like agricultural output. So, like produce, vegetables, fruit, things like farmers would have moved to the US to pick. So, like, you know, they people will like move to the US and work there picking fruit to send money back home to buy vegetables imported
Yeah.
from the US. So to me, what it tells me, like, if your labor's worth so much more in another country, like, there's must be something like institutionally wrong with that country.
Yeah. Labor laws.
Yeah, exactly. Like labor laws, or like some kind of fucked up, corrupt bureaucracy around like particular
Yeah. Just
industries. But like
cartels running everything.
that too. From what I've been told of Mexico is that like the cartels are just like are kind of like the newest iteration of a long-standing problem, which is that like it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to do business there, just because the institutional corruption and paying for favors really kind of screws the little guy, and makes it so that you kind of have to like pay tribute to the government and the corruption if you want to get anything done. And the cartels are just like, first it was the Spanish, then it was the Diaz government, and then it was the PRI government, and now it's the cartels in parts of northern
Yeah.
Mexico. So it's like a continuation of a long-standing trend.
You should just be a Chinese communist billionaire then.
No, exactly. It's a see like China is clearly, or at least it would seem, not corrupt in the same way, like not in stifling way where Chinese workers find like they're better off going elsewhere because they can't work in their own country. But
I mean, send money back. Yeah.
yeah, and send money back. Like maybe it was that way years ago, but at least it hasn't gone that far. But yeah, like you said about Chinese Communist Party, like, the supremest irony of so the Chinese Communist Party recently had their 100th anniversary, and one of the most bizarre thing I've so remember the whole controversy about how Jack Ma, the richest man in China, was a Chinese Communist Party member.
Yeah.
So it turns out he's not alone.
He's got a whole team.
Yeah, no, but like he's like not even the most egregious, because he's just like, as far as I understand, he's like just a party member. Like notably, Robin Lee, who is the co-founder of Baidu, I think it's pronounced, which is like Chinese Google, because Google's banned
Yeah.
in China. So Robin Lee and Pony Ma. Pony Ma is the founder and CEO of Tencent, which is like the company that owns like WeChat and I think TikTok.
No, not TikTok.
And they don't own TikTok?
No.
Oh, wait, who owns TikTok?
ByteDance.
ByteDance. Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. Tencent owns WeChat, and they also own like half of Epic Games.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is. Sorry,
You mixed up the two biggest.
I mixed up the two things. But they also own they own like half of Epic Games. They own Riot Games.
They own a bit of Activision.
Oh, they
Yeah.
own Activision. Oh yeah, they own Activision, Blizzard, and they have like a non-controlling stake in Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And Paradox, as it turns out.
They also own a bit of Tesla.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that one. But like those ones aren't like big stakes, at least as far as I know. Like Ubisoft and Paradox, it's not like a huge stake. It's like 5%, so like they wouldn't like have enough to like throw their weight around. But they own like all of Riot Games, and they own like half of Epic Games. Or I think it might be like 40%.
And like WeChat runs pretty much China. Everyone has that.
Yeah, like WeChat is like Chinese WhatsApp basically, and like and WeChat Pay is like Google Pay in China. Like, and you might see it in like Toronto or North America. Like Chinese restaurants will like accept WeChat Pay as like as a form of payment. Anyway, I digress. Pony Ma, the founder and CEO of Tencent, as well as Robin Li, the founder of Baidu, so like WhatsApp and Google respectively, are not just Communist Party members, but are representatives or were representatives in the Chinese government. And they were both delegates in the 12th National People's Congress. So not only does the Chinese Communist Party have billionaires in it, it has billionaires in its governing structure.
They're balling.
Yeah, but like it's like this, it gets really weird when they like during this whole 100th anniversary business where they like talk about like Karl Marx and Mao killing all the landlords, and you just have like the Chinese equivalent of Bezos
Yeah.
there, not just like as a member but like as an active member of the governing body. It's just like it's the it's so cynical. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Just the fact that like in order for the Chinese Communist Party to like preserve its power, they basically have to be anti-communist. In that like, you know, guys who are like redistribute wealth and seize the means of production, like they have to keep those guys quiet in the most supreme irony. And this is just kind of like we always knew this, that like the Chinese Communist Party was kind of cynical in this way, but I never knew it would be this cynical. Like I thought they might like tolerate billionaires and kind of like keep up an image where they're like, oh yeah, we'll use the billionaires, you know, for our economic development, but like we don't really like them and we don't want them in the party. Like, but no, they're like in the
Yeah.
party.
Just want the control.
It's the cynicism of it all. You know what it's like? It's like step sibling porn, like which is just infesting everything. And we know what they mean when they're doing step sibling. You know, we know like the people who watch that just want to watch incest porn, and you know the step thing is just like the plausible deniability on it, and you're all fucking cowards. You're all and y'all are disgusting with your hot tub time machines,
Your
or your
bathtub
hot tub Twitch
streamers
streamers and your bathtub Twitch
and
streamers
your
and
VTubers. Don't forget those
your
guys.
VTuber. Yes, y'all are disgusting. Just
Right.
I'm just going in, I'm going on a tirade against the audience. But yeah, as I said, back on the subject of y'all being disgusting, I just want to remind everyone that you know in this age of free Britney and freeing Britney from her conservatorship, Britney, the people who are like supposed to be like watching Britney and like taking care of her, you know, when she was a 16-year-old, also set it up so that like you, the audience, like lusted after a 16-year-old, and that was gross. Like I don't think the studio or like her family is like equipped to tell her how to make decisions, but like I hope that like what they did with Britney Spears, like even before the whole leave Britney alone thing, like even before the media started to harass her, like I hope that would be not socially acceptable today. But I know that's not true because, like I said, y'all are disgusting with your lusting after like the teens from Game of
I hope they
Thrones.
make more kind of like documentaries of like inside these celebrity stars and how they grew up, because it happened to Britney. It definitely happened to other people.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, but the weird part is like Britney's like weird grooming was way more public. Like, you know, the studio like dressed her up in like a schoolgirl costume and like paraded her around, and like they knew and we knew she was 16, and it was weird and
Yeah,
gross.
it's manufactured. Well, just hope they do that with like all those boy bands that came up in the 90s.
No, that yeah, that's true. Like it wasn't like it presumably won't be as bad in as in the open. Yeah, you're definitely gonna hear about how like you know Justin Timberlake talking about like they fed us cocaine so like we could form that, like just horrible shit like that.
I love when I think he mentioned it in some documentary, but like how when they started with Backstreet Boys, that whoever was managing them told Backstreet Boys that like, yeah, if you guys don't do this, we've got this. We just signed this new group called NSYNC who will replace you if you don't step up.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like they always have like they always need like the threat of the other of
That
like
competition
competition
to
on the
like
back
push.
burner.
Yeah,
Like you're disposable, so you got to do what we say. Britney will just replace you with Christina Aguilera or something like that.
exactly.
And I've heard the Korean boy band circuit is worse for that. Like it's
Oh, I hope they do a documentary on like how they manufacture all those boy bands in Korea and like how they kind of manufacture them to look like females, but also masculine in some
see,
sense.
I've a lesbian friend of mine has a theory that that like some Korean boy bands are like purposefully androgynous to appeal to like closeted lesbians in like China and Korea, like which are a little more conservative societies. Like in the same way, like apparently Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic was kind of like a sex symbol for lesbians in the 90s because like
He wasn't overly masculine.
exactly. So like they could basically it was kind of like a way to like women without saying you like women. It's like, oh no, mom, I love boys. Love that Leo. That's
Right. Yeah, I
I
can
don't know
see
how
that
true that is,
with
but
boy
like
bands.
that's what I've been told.
I mean, it's pop culture, so to be able to openly be accepted by everyone makes
No,
sense.
exactly. And apparently there's like a Chinese all female boy band there that calls themselves a boy band. I mean, further lends credence to my friend's theory. But yeah, it's possible that's what they're doing. Though it might also just be that like you want boy bands to be non-threatening, so like you don't like scare square white suburban parents. Whereas like if you like started like and there's probably like there'd also be like racism issues with this, but like if the studio tried to market like DMX to teenage girls or to like suburban teenage white girls, like white parents would have like thrown a shit fit.
Right.
Whereas like because like to them DMX is scary, but like you get like Justin Timberlake and make him have like dreamy eyes and shit and like make pretend they're all sensitive, then like they think like, oh, this is fine, they could never do anything wrong.
Yeah, but also they know that when they make these boy band, well, specifically, they know that their demo is little girls who look up to them. It's not going to be little guys.
Yeah, that's but it's yeah. I think like there's a non-threatening like they want them to be.
They market it to the opposite gender so that they can relate to them.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I want the tell-all of BTS. BTS, is that it? The
Yeah,
yeah. I want the BTS tell-all like 10 years from now when they're washed up, and then they're like, yeah, okay, now I can talk about how shitty my manager.
I mean we posted how they just came out with the BTS meal at McDonald's that I tried. That was pretty much their
See, which
collab.
I can't do that because they only got 9 nuggets.
No, there's 10 nuggets.
Oh, I thought it was 9 nuggets because there's like 9 members of BTS.
I don't even know how many members there are.
Was I? Do I just not? This is just more of me being old. I
I'm
don't.
pretty sure it was 10 because I don't think
BTS.
McDonald's would just specifically lower a nugget.
I thought that was like the whole marketing gimmick.
I
Like
could be wrong, but I just
there's
remember
nine
it was
nuggets.
nuggets with two specific like sauces.
See, man, this is your problem. You don't count your nuggets.
I don't. I just scarf them down.
No, exactly. Like you gotta count the nuggets so you know they're not fleecing you. Getting fleeced on nuggets is like the worst thing. Yeah, like it's the worst thing you could do. Getting shortchanged on nuggets is the worst thing possible.
That's why you go to the U.S. and get nuggets, and they're like dirt cheap.
Oh, I know. Canada is a failed state. You can get like so many.
It's not a state, but yeah,
Yeah, but like like state in the national sense.
yeah,
BTS meal number of nuggets. See, if they gave me 18 nuggets.
because there's 18 members.
No, just because there's 9 and it's divisible by 9.
Does it say how many?
Trying to feel.
Pretty sure it's 10.
The McDonald's meal is not. The McDonald's meal is not telling me how many nuggets there are on a BTS. Oh, okay. Okay, apparently the BTS meal is different depending on where you buy it. Okay, so like US diners it's 10,
I figured it out.
and then apparently in Asia it's 9 nuggets.
Oh,
Yeah. Cuz
how
like there's
fancy.
9 members.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy pants, China.
Yeah, like in Hong Kong and Singapore and shit. But So then everyone was mad because they were shortchanged on nuggets, which like I would be like, not that I'm a BTS fan, so like it would not be worth it for me in the first place.
You're secretly a BTS fan behind the scenes.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see. They might grow up. Maybe I'll just reject being old, but
I'll probably see you in like a BTS shirt soon enough.
yeah. Well, every time I go to like a Korean market, they're there, so like they'll probably just like infect my brain through like osmosis,
Right.
because that's what's like designed to happen. It's not that like the music's necessarily good. It's just like
Through repetition there in your head, yeah.
exactly, yeah. It's why everyone loves I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone like uncontroversial who's like that. Like no one actually unironically likes Carly Rae Jepsen.
Right. I mean, but it is the whole repetition thing is a psychological thing that's proven in marketing tactics.
Yeah. No, it's as much as you think marketing doesn't work on you,
It
it
does.
does.
Well, it's very strategic the way we get you. But I mean, it's the reason why you see like the same brand commercial back to back because they do that on purpose.
Yeah. Okay, I'll admit you marketing guys are pretty good. However, sometimes you're not. Sometimes your algorithms don't quite get who I am.
Right. I mean, it's not foolproof. There's always exceptions, but
I'm not the devout Muslim that they seem to think I am.
you do love that school where boys belong.
No, it's not where boys belong.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who's like, "Hey, I know that school."
Oh God, ugh. That was not a good motto.
It's an excellent motto. What do you mean? We remembered it.
All right, you know what? Fair enough. But I don't remember the name. I remember the motto, but I don't remember the name of the school.
But we also know where it is.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I could find it if I was so inclined. The two weirdest ads I've gotten in the last few weeks are I got an ad for beans, like not like Goya beans, like from the Ontario Bean Growers Association or whatever.
Nice. Maybe that's a cult that you should join.
Yeah, they're just advertising beans. Want me to eat more beans? It's like those commercials that aren't for like a brand of milk. They're just for milk.
Nice.
You know what I mean? It's just like all the milk producers got together and just like, we're gonna pool our resources on this one.
Yep.
But the other one was that, like you mentioned earlier, with Twitch is trying to prevent what happened to OnlyFans from happening to them. So like they don't want their website to be taken over by porn, so they're like permanently thought of as a porn website.
Yeah.
So OnlyFans is trying to come back from that. They're trying to like dig themselves out of the hole that porn put them in. And they're trying to so like I got an ad for OnlyFans. It was like, "Oh, you could like contribute to these artists who like make guitars out of old driftwood and shit." I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, okay, all right." And presume I have to think that them getting DJ Khaled on OnlyFans was part of this drive to like get people to start thinking of terms
Legit.
of OnlyFans
Yeah.
as like, not just the porn site. Yeah, either that or Khaled's just like trying to like lure in women.
They don't want to see us win.
I guess, but like I don't know. I'm not fucking paying for
Why
inspirational
not?
quotes from DJ Khaled.
He's the best.
Bless up.
Someone will just tell them to me at some. Khaled.
You don't love me no more?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I can skip out on DJ Khaled's OnlyFans. Like, especially like, I don't want to be there for if and when Khaled gets like too desperate. Like that's not something I need to see.
This for the hood.
All right, that about wraps it up for today. I think we're just gonna leave everyone with the image of DJ Khaled's OnlyFans in their head.
Another one.
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. You can find us everywhere on all your podcast platforms and check us out everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're all there. The Above Average Podcast.
We're gonna be on Twitch.
And Twitch and maybe OnlyFans soon.
Depending on how respectable it becomes. Khaled, you're paid.
Right, we the best.
We the best.